Hey, welcome back to the Shipyard. Today, a Gorn card pack. Specifically, the Gress'sril. No, the Gress'sril. It's Gorn. You make a bunch of hissing noises, throw in a couple of G's, and then you're good. It's the scorn, the couple of hard R's, and yeah, it's all good. I may have been a little harsh on one of the cards in this pack. Um, we'll talk about that. But overall, I like this pack. I like this pack so much I bought it thrice. That's the aforementioned. Uh, I guess putting the wrap up before the specifics, but I feel that that gives you perspective for everything that I'm saying coming in. So, without further ado, let's go to the cards and let's understand why I bought so many of these packs. All right, first off, two cardboard sheets. One for your captain tokens, base plate, and is that Meridor? Yeah, Meridor Ale. The rest for everything else. Yeah, enhanced durability, Gorn Trooper, Gorn Hegemony, and a little token called Hidden Explosives. Anywho, enough about that. Alright, like we do on all of these reviews, we start with the ship first. So, the Gress'sril. It's a 3134 double crew weapon tech, 18 points. That is down from what used to be 22. I like that savings. It's a pretty good savings. Named ability here, little tricky. Modify attack dice step. Disable one shield on this ship. Cancel one hit or crit. So it's a defensive ability that happens before you roll defense dice. It actually happens before your opponent gets to modify their attack dice. Because when there's an order of modification, the non-active roller modifies first. So attack dice are modified by the defender, defense dice are modified by the attacker first. So I guess they can't convert a hit up to a crit because you've already canceled it. And that's fine. The downside here is this becomes a once per round ability, not a once per time you're defending, and it's also specific to when you're under attack. The specific Gress'sril ship, not a fleet-wide ability. That took a lot of clarification, a lot of headaches, a lot of arguing semantics back and forth. I think it's all for the better, but it took what was a really cool ability with something like improved deflector screens, and it made it okay. Something like this on a really small ship that's not rolling a ton of defense dice, you want that ability to go off multiple times. And you are still disabling shields, so you are being hurt if you're attacked multiple times in a round, but it ends up being okay. This ability reminds me a bit of the Equinox, or even one, more the Equinox than anything else, because those shields are getting disabled, and you have to survive the round in order to benefit from it again. Ultimately, this ship ends up being okay. It does move up because of some cards in this pack, so it sits in the very usable okay pile. Again, if we go to 4 piles, it sits in probably pile number 2. The generic loses a crew slot, of course the named ability, goes down to 14 points though. And again, you'll see some of the cards in this pack, but it also sits in this very usable slot. It's not a great ship because, again, only 6 durability, only 3 attack dice. But for what you're getting, 14 points, very reasonable cost to pay. All right, our first captain is Lalah, L-A-H-R, Lalah. Card counts as a Gorn captain because pictures are deceiving. At the end of the deal damage step, spin this ship's target lock token, choose one face down damage card on the defending ship, flip it face up, and resolve its effect. Kind of a random ability. It's new design space. I like that. What this means is that your opponent cannot shuffle their damage cards. That's been said. I'm not entirely sure I agree, but it's okay. The downside is he's a skill 7 captain for 5 points. And if I'm going to spend 5 points, I want probably skill 8. Skill 7's okay, but I want a better named ability. And ultimately, I think this ends up being in the... It's cool. It's mission playable. It's scenario playable. But unless my opponent's starting with damage or I'm playing a bunch of cloakers and I know I can get damage on them, I don't have a great use for this. So, yeah, go sit in the corner, Lalah. Our next captain is our generic Gorn captain. Skill for 3 points with a talent slot. I'm on board with that already. Action, disable this card, target an opposing ship. Disable the captain equipped to the target ship. Range 1. Now, you're spending your action, you're probably moving early, you're disabling them, and this probably becomes an action for nothing, because they'll just spend their action to re-enable their captain, and you've spent your action to do ultimately nothing. But I'm okay having an option. I'm okay with a filler captain, because nothing says you ever have to use the ability. And 3 points for a 4-skill captain talent slot carrier in faction is a playable ability. I'm not loving it. I still love the Hirogen captain. I think it's like, it might just be Hirogen Commander or something like that. It came on the Alpha Hunter. I like that more. And I think there's another generic that comes in Motley Fleet that I like as well. But yeah, the Gorn captain is okay, but I don't know. I'm hemming and hawing. I'll probably check the grades at the end. That'll give you my final assessment. Our first crew is SLAR. SLAR, Enterprise Gorn. And I like SLAR as a character. The ability here, 5-point unique crew action. Remove this card from play. Target an opposing ship at range 1. Disable 1 crew upgrade equipped to the target ship and deal 1 crit to the target ship's hull. Very situational. Super situational card. But you can do it to cloakers, you can do it to full shields, you can do it to whatever you want, and they're just taking a crit. They don't even have to have crew. I think SLAR's playable. I think SLAR is never going to see true competitive play. And for that reason, I've got to put him here. However, I think there's potential. I don't think he's nearly as good as something like Matt Decker. but Decker takes up a captain's slot. Decker's also a lot cheaper. So, yeah. All right, next we get 2 Gorn Trooper. I guess 2 Gorn Troopers. But 2 cards named Gorn Trooper. And they're identical, except for being numbered 6 and 7. So they're both 2-point, non-unique. For each Gorn Trooper equipped to this ship, increase the captain skill of the captain equipped to this ship by 1. Rule of 3 applies, of course. When attacking, disable this card. Reroll 1 attack die. That I like. Being able to reroll your attack dice. Cool. Now you don't get to reroll twice. But having just disable 1, reroll a die, it's okay. I think it's worse than SLAR. But it does fall into this kind of pile. Alright. Our next crew, Gorn Pilot. This is an 3-point unique action. If this ship performed a straight maneuver this game round, disable this card, perform a 1 white straight maneuver. It's interesting. I don't like disable, action disable, and then a limited move. So, especially at a 3-point card, I like having choices with my extra moves. I like getting passive extra movement, either built in or reactionary to firing, or make it more situational. But I don't want to just spend an action to go more straight. That just seems like I'm never going to play it, never going to see anybody play it, unless I'm in the super situation of like a race OP, needing to do something like drive, where it's just go fast. So I can see it there, but this is the like hyper situational pile where I'm not saying it's never ever going to see play, but there's got to be a specific build for it. All right, our elite talent is Gorn Hegemony. Hegemony? One of the two. This is non-unique, but it can only go on Gorn Raiders. You can have any captain on it, but gotta have it on a Gorn Raider, which makes sense, thematic sense. I'm all for these things, restricted so it makes some amount of thematic sense. This card may only be equipped to Seslak or a Gorn captain. Oh, well, there's that for you. Read the card, David. Still making sense. Action. Discard this card and treat the captain skill of the captain equipped to this ship as 0 this game round. Well, that's unfortunate. However, this ship may make 2 attacks instead of 1 this game round. Go last. Yeah, shoot last, but shoot twice. That's a tough sell. You can, if you can survive that, there's some cool things you can do, especially in a round where you also use Meridor, and we'll get to that. But yeah, I'm okay. Gorn Hegemony, I can see a build, but it's tough. All right. I'm going a little out of order here, just to put some things in nicer talking order. So, our tech. Enhanced durability. This is 1 per ship and Gorn only. Add 1 tech slot to the ship's upgrade bar. I'm all for that. And increase the ship's shield and agility values by 1. You're paying 4 points for that. I think it's worthwhile. if you want extra durability, put this on, put improved deflector screens on. Now you actually have a durable Gorn ship. So now you take your total durability up from 6 generic to 7, or 7 named to 8, and now you're rolling 2 defense dice, plus you're negating 1 hit, 2 hits with that named ability, provided IDS is in play. I like it. It gets pricey. You're spending a lot of points on tech and a lot of points on a really small ship. And you go, well, I could be running a lot of negation a lot cheaper, ultimately. And you could, right? The Sutherland's still a thing. And that works. And you can run shield adaptation. Okay, fine. But I like this on a small ship. And as some people say, ¿por qué no los dos? That's why not both. Another option you might take with your tech, Gorn Sensors. As the name might imply, Gorn only. And Gorn Raider only, in case we ever get a different kind of Gorn ship. WizKids, another Gorn ship, please. 1 per ship, 3 points. When the ship attacks with its primary weapon at range 1, range combat bonuses are doubled. Hey, I like that. That bypasses rule of 3, by the way. Range combat bonus doesn't count. So, cool. We can get more dice. I like it. When the ship attacks with a weapon upgrade at range 1, apply range combat bonuses. So you get an extra attack die. And I'm all for that. Now, is it 3-point good? Ugh, that's tough. It is somewhat tough, except you start accounting for the fact that Uhura is a thing, and now this is range 1 to 2. You can bring in Disruptor Bombardment, which we're going to talk about in a minute here, and this card becomes insanely good. So, Gorn Sensors, given that other things exist to combo with it, it's a great piece. It in and of itself is not the only answer, but it is a combo enabler. And you have to have those cards, and those cards should not be overlooked. Alright, speaking of Disruptor Bombardment, this is a doozy, but it is a doozy worth talking about. 1 per ship, Gorn Raider only, 2-point weapon, attack, place 3 time tokens on this card. Place a mission token within range 1 to 2 in your forward firing arc, and target all opposing ships within range 1 of the mission token. Okay, all of that can be boosted by Uhura. So now you can place a mission token within range 1 to 3 and target all opposing ships within range 2 of the mission token. Does that sound broken? Yeah, it sounds broken. Is Uhura going to get nerfed? I think so. Okay, anyways, I'm not on a soapbox to get Uhura nerfed. I'm just pointing out how ridiculous she is as we read cards. Make a separate attack roll against each target ship. This attack cannot be obstructed by obstacles or planets. Discard the mission token after the attack is made. I guess after all attacks are made. But this entire attack, attacking every ship within range. Now, you're making a 4-die attack. It's not that bad. Except Gorn Sensors can combo in, so now you're getting at range 1, so now you're getting 5 dice. And there's some ways to boost your dice. Not tons that boost secondary weapons, but there's some out there. Anything that would boost all attacks, you're there. Because your ship is still making the attack. The mission token is not making the attack. And that leads to potential issues. I love Disruptor Bombardment. I think It's going to see some amount of play at Worlds. It may not be in the top 4, top 8. It may not be a big player, but it is a thing that people have to either plan to play against or plan to play, or at least know it's in existence, and it alters play styles. So I'm all for that. All right, hidden explosives was a thing. I have a video on it. If you want to see me in my darkest moments, there you go. It's probably the one time I've truly been angry on camera. And I'm still sorry for that. For the sake of completion, I'm going to read this card and we'll talk about it. It is a 3-point unique weapon setup. Target an opposing ship. Place a hidden explosives token on the target ship and place 4 time tokens on this card. When there are no more time tokens on this card, you must discard this card. Roll 3 attack dice that cannot be re-rolled or modified. All hits and crits deal damage to the target ship's hull. Discard the hidden explosives token after the attack is made. Alright, a couple of things about this. 1, this card happens in setup. Nothing can alter the time tokens placed on this card. So this will take 4 rounds before it detonates. I'm on board with that rule. 2, it has been ruled that the target ship somehow gets evade dice against this roll because the ship is evading a bomb that's on it. That makes 0 sense. I'm sorry. It makes 0 sense. Because of that, your unmodifiable attack dice that will do roughly, will do on average 1.5 damage, now are looking at an expected value closer to 1 or 0.8, depending on if you're targeting a 0, 1, or 2 die, defense die, agility die ship. Alright, for 3 points, this is no longer a viable card. For 1 point, it is probably a viable card. And yes, I'm aware Sakona gives you the weapon slot. You can run this for 1 point. You know what? I would rather not. I would rather spend nothing. I would rather run a 129 point fleet than run this card, because it's going to do me absolutely nothing. I ran this in a tournament. I had a game where it didn't detonate. I had a game where I rolled no dice, or I did no damage on my rolls. So this card has gone from the card I truly got angry about because it was so good to the card where it is absolute trash and I want nothing to do with it. And that is the difference rulings make. Alright, the last card in this pack, because I need something good to end on, is Meridor Goren. This is 1 per ship and must be placed on an independent ship. Now that restriction is trivial. Captured makes anything you want independent, so keep that in mind as I read. This upgrade may be equipped to a ship without requiring an upgrade slot. Hey, look at that! Activation phase. Place 3 time tokens on this card. Decrease the captain skill of the captain equipped to this ship by 2 this game round. Okay. And increase the ship's primary weapon value by the same amount this game round. Alright. So, that scimitar that's rolling 6 is now rolling 8. Just for example. Meridor is one of the cards you have to look at and say, oh, So anything can now pack a bigger punch. Maybe a spiked punch, as it were. And the fact that it doesn't take an upgrade slot means that you literally have zero reason not to run it. More so, you put it on something with Calvin Hudson and it's 1 point. And a card like this should never have been costed at 2 points. It is undercosted in the most severe way. And I love cards like that. But it's not a bargain. And it's not a bargain because it's so good and it's so annoying. Now, rule of 3 does still apply. You are adding attack dice. And good fleets probably have attack dice set up consistently rather than every other round. But still, this is every third round that this is happening. And when that happens, you're just asking for trouble. And I guess that's thematic in its own way because that's what ale can do. But anyways, I like this pack. I really do like this pack. And I got 3 copies of it because of, well, mostly because of Meridor Ale, but also the ability to run Disruptor Bombardment with Gorn Sensors and enhanced durability. There's just really good stuff here. You know, the really good cards are really, really good. And whenever you have that kind of really good stuff, that's what I like. That's the kind of stuff that I want to keep playing. So, yeah, let's move up to final thoughts. Okay, so I've kind of been talking about it. There's a small handful of cards. I mean, there's 14 cards in this set. 13 if you don't count the second Gorn Trooper, and 12 if you don't count the generic ship, but you should, because it's there. Of those, we'll say 13 cards. 7 of them sit in those top 2 piles. And another, I'd argue another 4 are at least niche playable. Yes, there's 3 that I don't rank highly, but all but hidden explosives have potential use. Well, no, the Gorn Pilot doesn't. That's 2 bad cards. I can live with 2 bad cards. It's not the end of the world here. The pros you're getting out of this pack far outweigh the bad. And that means it's worth something. So, what do you need to really make this pack hum? You need one of the original Gorn. It's I think it's just Gorn Raider. But you need that for improved deflector screens. You got to have that, and you have to have the Dreadnought card pack because you need Captured. Captured and Meridor Ale. That is your combo. That's your bread and butter that's going to carry you to everything. And Calvin Hudson will certainly not hurt anything. That's the Valjean. I want to say Valjean. Yeah. Now, I know that's a few things, but it's a small buyer's guide here. That's how you maximize this pack. How you minimize it is you get this, you get one of the Gorn expansions, probably the retail one because the OP prize is more, but you'd be okay with that. I guess watch my reviews that are linked somewhere. And and that will tell you which one has what you might want. But yeah, there's good stuff here, and I like good stuff. I feel that when there's good stuff, it's worth getting, and it's worth supporting this, because I like seeing more stuff like this, more expansion packs, more card packs like this, less stuff like Romulan fighters. Alright, on that note, because I can always tease about Romulan fighters, and the Delta Flyer 2 card pack, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care, guys.